Hi guys, it is almost the end of April, which means that the May SAT is just around the corner. In this video, we're reviewing a couple of problems that you potentially could see on the next exam. Now, before we get started, a couple of things. One, hit the like, subscribe button. Two, make sure that you check out part one of the video series. If you click the playlist listed somewhere here, or you look down below, you will find part one of problems that you could see for the math portion of the digital SAT. Now let's tackle this problem right here. Make sure to pause this video and then unpause once completed to see if you're on the right track. Okay, so for a couple people, this problem might seem easy, and it could, but here's the thing. For the previous digital SATs, a type of problem like this seems to cause a lot of problems because it's confusing as to where to begin. The first thing that you want to do is start with what is in the innermost parentheses, G of 3, and evaluate and work your way out, sort of like getting to the inside of a donut before you eat the outside. So we're going to start off with G of 3 and evaluate that. They tell us what G of X is, which means we're going to go ahead and plug in that 3 into X squared. In other words, what we're saying is G of 3 is equivalent to X squared, noting that X squared is the same as 3 squared. You should automatically know that this is 9. If you want to go ahead and check Desmos, you can, but these are one of those things that you should be quickly able to assess yourself without going back into Desmos. So if you're preparing for a later SAT, I would suggest trying to combat some of these problems with simple math without using Desmos, so you could just quickly go ahead and solve them without actually pulling out your calculator or using Desmos on the side to type in, because that takes time. Now, what ends up happening from here is we have to evaluate the second function because we're working outside of the donut, the f of what's inside, which basically means that we're evaluating f of x equals 2x plus 3, knowing that the inside was actually g of x, which is also g of 3. And we solved for that, which is 9, which means that we're going ahead and we're plugging that 9 in. Keeping in mind that we now have to think about PEMDAS, which means we have to tackle this part first, 9 times 2, which is 18, plus 3. And so your final answer is 21. So just as a quick reminder, start from the innermost part and work your way out when solving a problem like this. Let's try to tackle this problem together. This problem states that x squared plus kx plus 9 has two equal solutions. What is the value of k? Go ahead and solve this problem, noting that the caret just symbolizes x squared. Pause this video and unpause once completed. Okay, so this type of problem was an issue on past exams because the reason why is we've become so ingrained to utilize Desmos, we tend to forget how to solve problems when we don't use Desmos. So the exam has been less focused on tricks and tips to easily plug and chug into Desmos and more conceptual as the development of the exam has come out. So before starting this problem, I'm going to give you some key pieces of information for review. The first thing that you need to know is that if they give you an exponent and the largest is a square, you know that they're talking about a quadratic. The other thing is they're asking you to solve for what's called the discriminant, and a couple things to note. They tell you it's two equal solutions. If they tell you it's two equal solutions, that basically means that it's crossing at the same time at the same location. So it'd be like a graph one on top of each other. This is usually solved with the discriminant formula called b squared minus 4ac equals 0. And this threw people off in previous exams within this year because you don't tend to memorize this. So just keep this in mind. This is not on your formula sheet, and you need to know this if they tell you it's two equal solutions. Now, if they tell you it's no real solutions, meaning in the problem they say no real solutions, just as a disclaimer, that is letting you know that b squared minus 4ac is less than 0. answers are complex and imaginary, so keep that in mind. If they let you know that there is two real solutions, so two real solutions, they're letting you know that it's technically b squared minus 4ac is greater than 0. So keep that in mind when you are studying the three different ways that you can solve this, okay? Because you will be expected to note that by heart. And that's one of the key facts that a lot of students tend to forget because you haven't seen it in a while and it's hard to remember. Now, going back to this problem, remember there's two equal solutions, so that means that it's equal to 0. So we're going ahead and saying k squared minus 4ac is equal to 0. Noting that 1, which is the variable in front of x squared, is a, equal to a. And then the value of b is equal to k, because that's the second one. And then you had C, which is the same thing as saying 9. So I already plugged in the k squared, noting that k is the same thing as b, because remember the original formula is b squared minus 4ac equals 0. And I went ahead and plugged in one of the variables. So let's plug in the rest. Uh, k squared minus 4a, which we now is known as 1, times c, which is our 9, equals 0. Simple solve, you know that 4 times 9 is 36. Bring that over from negative to positive to the other side. So we add all that to this side. That's going to give you 39k squared, 36k squared, I should say. So technically k squared equals 36. So just to recap, it's k squared minus 4 times 1 times 9 equals 0. 9 times 4 is 36. I brought that over to the other side. That's how I got equals to 36. So k squared equals 36. Take the square root, and k equals 6. Technically plus or minus 6. But for the problem of the test, you just type in 6 and that would be your correct answer. So that's how you would solve that type of problem there. Let's talk about a problem like you see here on the screen. Please note that when they're speaking about this caret here, that's just another way of labeling it as an exponent. So we just replaced it with a caret because it's just supposed to be the same thing as saying 200,106 to the power of t. Same with all the answer choices here for this multiple choice question. Take a moment, pause the video, and try to attempt to complete this problem that you see here on your screen. Okay, so in this problem, they talk about some growth. Usually they talk about bacteria or some sort of food product that has some sort of exponential growth. And they did that here by giving an equation, and they wanted to know what expression, based on the answer choices, is the population after an additional 5 years. So this is a tricky one because you have to think about the 5 years that are there. And usually students think, okay, well, I have to take a look at the numbers up front. But in this case, I want you to think a little bit differently in this question, how they view the problem. So they talk about some power of t. So the default for most students is that they think, okay, I'm just going to put 5 here, and that is the additional 5 years because t is time and I'm adding that 5, so it must be within 5 years. But if we were to assume that, you are assuming that you're starting at a bacterial growth culture of 0, meaning there's no actual growth to start off. And that's not necessarily true. We have some original growth, and then over time, you have it grow exponentially, essentially. So it's not starting off at 0. And to have some sort of growth, you have to start off with at least one to then divide. And this is not a scientific fact that you need to know, but it's something to help you to visualize that if you have something to a power, you're assuming that that power is starting at time point zero. So in this case, anything to the T power, we don't like. So I automatically, without even thinking about it, will get rid of B. Now, it's talking about 5 additional years. So we want to think about the fact that it is the time point, whatever that might be at that growth, plus the 5 years to that, starting at T, whatever that base point is. Because of this, I can eliminate C, and now I'm left with A and D. So what's the difference between the two? One has parentheses and one doesn't. Remember PEMDAS, which means that by default, we'll take a look at this as to the T power and then just adding 5 to the total, which we don't want. We want to evaluate the time and add 5 years to that. Because of this, A would be the correct answer. So this is a tricky problem that they previously posted. I think a very similar one in the previous every other test. And the reason why this is such a confusing one is not because you have to do any physical math, but because you have to think of the time point in which they started. And in the Q banks, you're automatically left to think, okay, I'm going to just plug in a value here, and that would be correct, and that's incorrect. You have to think about it at some time point, and then you're adding the time. So just keep that in mind when you are recording your answer in your test day.
Subscribe, like, check playlists for AP Bio and SAT, and hit the link tree below for free and paid resources.